Unmuting.
It's unmuted now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am unmuted. So, which is the this one?
Did you take off your mask? No.
Can this Zoom?
Did you your mask?
One minute. No, not that way. Not that way. No.
Silent.
ಅದಲ್ಲ. Good morning. Oh, is it? It's afternoon. Dr. Chitra.
Yeah, Biju.
I just kind of wanted to demo that we can have. This is one of the tricks that I've recently adopted of putting in, which is unlike my regular ID, which is rather small.
Yeah.
I put up a bigger thing and I walk around with this inside the hospital. So this is for all the participants to see that these are the simple things that we can adopt. Low tech, high impact methods of having a relationship. So even if with mask, these are the things that we can do.
Good, Biju.
You still want my mask off?
I think so for now.
Here I am.
Thanks, Biju.
I'm good to go anytime.
Yeah, I think you should start. It's 3:05.
Sure. Fine. So I will try my hand at Hindi. नमस्कार, मैं डॉक्टर बिजू राघवन हूँ. आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है, खासकर उत्तराखंड से आप सभी लोग जिन्होंने लॉग इन किया हुआ है. आज का टॉपिक हमारा कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स है, बेसिक्स. इसका उद्देश्य यह है कि हम कैसे कोविड रिलेटेड चैलेंजेस को कैसे, चुनौतियों को कैसे फेस करें, इससे रिलेटेड जो भय है, एंग्जाइटी है, चिंताएं हैं, उसको हम कैसे डील करें. सारे प्रश्नों का जवाब तो मेरे पास नहीं होगा, लेकिन मुझे उम्मीद है कि आज के सेशन से हमें थोड़ा बहुत आगे बढ़ने की राह मिलेगी, आपको भी, हम सबको. तो पहले मैं ये आज हमारे मुद्दे क्या हैं हमारे सामने, इस पे एक स्लाइड पेश करता हूं. उसमें है कि कम्युनिकेशन में हमारे सामने चैलेंजेस क्या हैं, चुनौतियां क्या क्या हैं, और हम इन चुनौतियों को कैसे मैनेज करेंगे, और थोड़े बहुत डूज एंड डोंट्स इसमें मैंने रखे हैं. और हम बैड न्यूज कम्युनिकेट करेंगे तो कैसे, उसके लिए एक स्लाइड है. ऐसे खबर देने के टाइम पे लोगों का रिएक्शन कैसे होता है वो समझने की कोशिश करेंगे, रिएक्शन टू ब्रीफ. और इस माहौल में जो स्ट्रेस है उसमें काफी हद तक थोड़ा बहुत एंगर भी निकल के बाहर आ रहा है लोगों के बीच में, हमारे बीच में भी. तो उसके बारे में भी थोड़ा बात करेंगे. आप, मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप सबने ये ई बुक तो डाउनलोड कर ही लिया होगा. साथ में उसके नीचे पैलीकेयर ऐप भी है जो कि बैंगलोर में बना था, वो भी बहुत हेल्पफुल है. तो मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप लोगों के पास ऑलरेडी ये सब होगा। और पिछले 2 दिनों से जो क्लासेस चल रहे हैं, आपको आइडिया हो गया होगा कि हम किस दिशा में चल रहे हैं। ये है कि हम कोविड रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम्स को, जो बहुत ज्यादा इससे सफर कर रहे हैं, उनका ट्रीटमेंट के बारे में नहीं कह रहे, उनको कैसे कंफर्ट पहुंचाया जाए, उनको शारीरिक कंफर्ट कैसे पहुंचाया जाए, उनको मानसिक कंफर्ट कैसे पहुंचाया जाए, उनको कैसे थोड़ी सांत्वना दी जाए, ये हमारा उद्देश्य है। तो इसी उद्देश्य को आगे बढ़ाते हुए हम वही अपने जो बुजुर्ग हैं, रमेश जी, जो 75 साल के हैं, उनको गले में खराश और बहुत ज्यादा खांसी की प्रॉब्लम हो गई थी। तो उनके बेटे ने कोविड हेल्पलाइन में कहा, उनको उनसे कांटेक्ट किया, और वहाँ के जो डॉक्टर हैं उन्होंने एडवाइस दी, हिदायत दी कि उनको पास के कोविड ट्रीटमेंट सेंटर में भर्ती किया जाए। और वहाँ पे हमारे पेशेंट रमेश जी का टेस्ट हुआ, और टेस्ट में जो कोरोना का जो रिजल्ट है वो पॉजिटिव निकला। और जाहिर सी बात है कि रमेश जी काफी घबराए हुए हैं। वो बार बार पूछ रहे हैं कि मेरे घर के लोग कहाँ हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो उनको अकेले काइंड ऑफ बंद करके रखा हुआ है। तो ये है हमारे सामने सिचुएशन। अब ये सिचुएशन में आप सोचिए कि ये जो बुजुर्ग हैं, जो पेशेंट हैं, और उनके जो परिवार वाले हैं, उन पे क्या बीत रही होगी, वो क्या क्या मुसीबतें उनके सामने होंगी। और ये आप ये भी सोचिए कि हम कैसे ये सब डील करेंगे। तो ये 2 चीजें हैं जो मैं चाहता हूं कि आप जरा गौर करें, और इसके ऊपर आप अपनी टिप्पणी दें। आप चैट में भी डाल सकते हैं, और जो आप अगर कहना चाहते हैं तो आप अपना हाथ खड़ा कीजिए, और मैं मेरी मेरी एडमिन से गुजारिश है कि आपको बोलने का मौका दिया जाए। तो बस 2 मिनट आप इस मुद्दे पे जरा सोचिए, और देखिए कि आपके सामने क्या क्या मुद्दे उभर के आ रहे हैं। और कृपया चैट में डाल दीजिए, या हाथ खड़ा करके आप कह दीजिए। कोई कुछ बताना चाहेगा कि इस समय पे रमेश जी और उनके परिवार वालों पे क्या बीत रही होगी, उनके सामने क्या क्या मुश्किलें हो रही होंगी, और आप कैसे इन सबको डील करेंगे। आप कहना नहीं चाहते तो आप चैट पे भी लिख के भेज सकते हैं।
Dr. Shrija says, Dr. Chetan says they can call or video chat. Dr. Akash says empathize the condition. Dr. Mohammed is saying anxiety and fear. And somebody is asking for an English translation now. So, and Dr. Akash is saying stress.
हाँ, स्ट्रेस। हाँ, चैट पे तो काफी लोगों ने लिखा है, खासकर एंग्जाइटी, स्ट्रेस, और ये भी है कि हाँ, इकोनॉमिकली कैसे डील करें। डॉक्टर मोहम्मद इमरान असलम ने लिखा है। अब यह है कि अब आदमी अगर क्वारंटाइन में होगा तो काम कैसे करेगा, पगार कहाँ से आएगी, बच्चों को खिलाएंगे कैसे। तो ये इकोनॉमी का स्ट्रेस तो वाकई बहुत है। तो चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। कोई कुछ कहना चाहेगा आगे बढ़ने से पहले?
Biju, can we do a bit of English and Hindi? I think some people can't follow Hindi as well.
Basically, I'm just saying in Hindi what essentially is being conveyed by the slide, which is in English. So I don't think there is much of a change in what the slide is talking about and what I'm saying. That was the whole idea, so that those who follow Hindi more and less of English will have equal participation in this. if I'm asked to go back to presenting this in English, I can do that also. Is that
Biju, I think we were going to do a bit of both. So I think it was to explain concepts in both in Hindi and English was the plan.
all right? Okay, let's move forward and see how we are going to deal with these things. I think something's got stuck here. It's not moving forward. All right. So what are the possible challenges? हमारे पास चुनौतियां क्या-क्या हैं? तो उसके बारे में we will talk about it. One challenge is about technology. Somebody mentioned about video chatting. Abhi, you are in Uttarakhand. It's a hilly state. And आपको पता है कि ऐसे बहुत जगह हैं पहाड़ों पे जहाँ पे नेटवर्क ही नहीं होता, फोन नहीं मिलता, आप वीडियो चैट क्या कर पाएंगे? So this is a problem. So there is a lot of technological challenges, and remember our patient, Mr. Ramesh, who is 75 years old gentleman, being an elderly person, हो सकता है कि उनके पास ये टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करने का उनको नॉलेज ना हो या नहीं कर पाए. So those things can be a challenge to many people. Not everybody is technological savvy. So that is one challenge for the patient and the family. And a major thing that all of you or most of you have brought about is this challenge of what the patient is experiencing emotionally. बहुत ज्यादा डर फैला हुआ है कोविड के बारे में. There's a lot of fear and anxiety because of this. And if I understand correctly, Mr. Ramesh, he has also suffered a stroke. And as a result, it is possible that he may be able to communicate with dysarthria. So what he says may not be very clear. So there are diseases also which affects communication, and that can be a challenge. And what about the challenge faced by the family? They may also be scared, and there's a lot of stigma associated with COVID. And I mean, I'm sure as doctors, nurses, and other healthcare workers, you are aware that many places we are being attacked because of our closeness with treating patients. And all of this happens because there's so little of information available associated with this. And जहाँ पे अंधेरा हो उसके लिए एक ही दवाई है, रोशनी होनी चाहिए. और we have to make sure that the information in language that people understand is reaching them. तभी डर खत्म होगा. So I will proceed. And what about the challenges that we as healthcare providers are also facing? Abhi, it's not necessary that all of us are going around in this full coveralls and all, but then most of us have to wear a mask while we are in the hospital. And as a result, our facial expressions and the smile, all of that is not now visible. And what about our own anxiety and stress? डर तो हमें भी लग रहा है. So all of that are challenges that we have to deal with. So if you have that ebook, page number 11, you will find this algorithm very, very useful to guide you on how to deal with the communication issues and how you can help out the patients and the families who are feeling so anxious. I'm not going to go into the details because it is quite comprehensive, but just some of the, can we have that thing off? Something that is on, yeah, right. That's fine. Because I can't see the top part. What should I do? It is gone. Yeah. So first and foremost, introduce yourself. If you are wearing a mask, I mean, make sure that you don't remove your mask while you're with the patient. And if you're wearing a full-fledged PPE, then obviously that is not possible. But even then, introduce yourself. If possible, show a picture of yours. You can laminate it and paste it on your suit. And always introduce yourself so that people know who you are, and also ask them how they are feeling. This is beyond the normal history taking that you would do. And active listening. There is nothing more important than active listening. You have to listen to them carefully and use your whole body while listening, not just your ears. You have to nod your head, you have to make a sound, you have to make eye contact even from within the your mask and from within the suit, because even if they can't see your eyes, the way your eyes are directed, your body responds accordingly. So that gives a feeling that that they are being listened to. So active listening is very important. And then always reassure them, use words of reassurance. Find out what they need, find out what they want to know. And if they need to know more than what they already know, you have to give them that honest information in a language that they understand. क्योंकि important वो है कि वो सही बात को समझें इस तरीके से कि उनके समझ आए. आप बहुत ज्यादा मेडिकल जार्गन लगाएंगे तो उनको कुछ तो पल्ले पड़ेगा ही नहीं. और जब आप कोई ऐसी खबर सुनाते हैं जैसे कोई बैड न्यूज है, तो उसमें आप ये सोच के सुनाइए कि आपका अपना कोई हो तो आप उससे कैसे बात करेंगे. आपका खुद का अपना कोई हो, इस पॉइंट को हम एम्पैथी कहते हैं. अगर आप कहेंगे हाय बेचारा, उसको सिंपैथी कहते हैं. कोई किसी को सिंपैथी मत दीजिए, लेकिन सबके साथ एम्पैथी प्रैक्टिस कीजिए. और जो उनके साथ जो उनको जो बताना होता है, उसके बाद आप एक्सप्लोर करेंगे कि वो कैसे फील कर रहे हैं और उनको आगे क्या चाहिए. इसके बारे में थोड़ा और आगे बात करेंगे. हमारे पास थोड़े बहुत सॉल्यूशंस हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, ये मेरे एक फ्रेंड हैं जो यूएस में काम करते हैं. उनके कुछ डॉक्टर्स ने ऐसा एक फोटो भेजा, which is on the left side of your screen, where they have put themselves in coveralls and put laminated pictures onto their, they have stuck it onto their suits. So even if you can't make out their face, but you can still see what they look like. And if you notice the gentleman on the right, even from behind the screen, face shield and the mask, you can still see the smile, right? That is important to share emotions, even if you are all covered up. And then there are some fancy masks like you're seeing on the right side, but then we don't have it, and it is not necessary. Some of the do's and don'ts. See, even if you're wearing a mask, it is very important to make a eye contact. And even if they can't see the smile, you must smile behind the mask, because the twinkle in your eyes may be visible. And not only that, the smile in your voice can be felt by people who are listening to you. So that is a very important thing that you must understand, that even if you're wearing the mask and the shield and coveralls, you must still practice good body language practices. And nowadays we have started using the word COVID patient. That is kind of categorizing people, and it leads to stigma. So never categorize people. You can always say that patient has been infected by COVID or coronavirus, but that is not a COVID patient. And that makes a huge difference in our attitude also. So accept people as they are and respect people for what they are. So the basic idea is we have to be non-judgmental. We have to take people as they are. We cannot start accepting, judging people based on their language, of how they look, or what is their religion, or what is their caste, or all those kinds of human created divisions are judgments on people. So never be judgmental and accept people who as they are and respect for who they are. And when people come to you, वो अपने चिंताएं लेके आते हैं, so don't minimize their problems. ये मत कह यार ये तो इतना छोटा सा प्रॉब्लम है, इसके लिए आप विले परेशान हो रहे हो. Don't minimize that. और ये भी मत कीजिए कि आपका प्रॉब्लम तो कुछ भी नहीं है, उसका देखो प्रॉब्लम कितना बड़ा है, उसके मुकाबले तो आपका प्रॉब्लम कुछ भी नहीं है. Do not compare people's problem. हमेशा acknowledge their emotions. You can always say that anybody in your position would perhaps feel the same. आप बिल्कुल जैसा फील कर रहे हैं, आपके जगह पे कोई भी होता तो वो ऐसा ही फील करता. सो यू आर एक्नॉलेजिंग देयर इमोशंस एंड यू नो that is very important. Those are the important do's to do. And most important thing, do not assume, do not think that what you are thinking or what you think their worries are actually the things that they're worried about. It's not necessary. You may think that this person is worried about COVID and you give a big lecture on how majority of the patients have only mild symptoms or no symptoms, only very small percent people have serious problems. What if this person is thinking कि मेरी तो कोई पगार ही नहीं आई, मैं अपने बच्चों को खिलाऊंगा क्या? So it is very important when you think that people are worried, when you see people are worried, and when people say that I'm worried, ask people what are they worried about, what are they scared about, and listen to them, because that is going to tell you what their problems are. And it is possible that the problems they come up with, you may not have a solution to. उनकी इतनी सारी प्रॉब्लम्स होंगी, हो सकता है कि आपके पास जवाब ना हो, लेकिन आप उनके प्रॉब्लम्स को सुनेंगे, उसी में उनका थेरेपी हो जाता है. Just allowing them to ventilate their problems itself is a therapy. उनका दिल का काफी गुबार निकल जाता है, वो अंदर से हल्के फील कर जाते हैं. तो आप पूछिए और सुनिए, आस्क एंड लिसन. एंड हो सकता है कि आपके पास उनके प्रॉब्लम का कोई सोल्यूशन हो तो बिल्कुल दीजिए. बट इफ यू डोंट हैव अ सोल्यूशन टू देयर प्रॉब्लम, दैट डजंट मीन दैट यू हैव वेस्टेड टाइम. आस्किंग एंड लिसनिंग इज अ थेराप्यूटिक प्रोसेस. And don't forget the human touch. We are all very afraid of touching people, right? But remember, we human beings crave a human touch. So as good doctors, good nurses, good social workers, make sure that you have the mask on, but touch people, and you can always sanitize your hands afterwards. You can sanitize right in front of them. They don't mind, but please don't stay away from people. Don't forget to touch them, because that is the best and most beautiful way of how you can communicate that you care. And this is the photo on the right side, is the photo of our Chief Minister of Kerala. He is famous for his 5 p.m. briefing to the state of Kerala. Everybody looks eagerly for that 5 p.m. briefing, because he honestly gives you data and he tells you this is the problem we are facing today and this is what we are going to do. So when you have anything to inform the patient and family, make a habit of doing it regularly. Fix a time. आप किसी को ये जिम्मेदारी दे दीजिए कि फलाने टाइम पे फलाना बंदा पेशेंट को और फैमिली मेंबर्स को ब्रीफ करेगा. It is very important to do it in a regular way and give a honest and simple briefing, so that people, the non-medical people, can understand what is the present situation. If it is something serious, inform them.
95.3.
If not, if things are fine, inform them that things are fine. Give a simple and honest regular briefing. So when we talked about this situation where Mr. Ramesh had his corona test positive, so we have to tell him and the family about this. So in communicating bad news, we use a spikes protocol. It is essentially a 6-step protocol, and it is very simple to use once you understand. Many of you may already be using it. इसमें क्या है कि first you have to set up the interview. You have to find a time, a space, and you have to focus. It is like when you are posting a surgery, you fix a time for it, and you don't want to get disturbed by other things. So similarly, you have to set up the interview, and then the first thing you need to understand is, what does the patient understand, what is the patient's perception or the family's perception about what is going on, what is the problem. And it is possible that they may have no idea, or it's possible that they may have some idea, or it is also possible that they may fully understand, but it is important to ask, because when you ask and listen, you will know. And once you have understood what is the patient's perception, you have to obtain the patient's invitation. You can ask something like, okay, would you like to know more about this? क्या आप आपकी बीमारी के बारे में ज़्यादा जानना चाहेंगे? And then when they say yes, then you have to share the knowledge and information to the patient or to the family or to both. But remember, when you share the knowledge, be honest. आप घुमा फिरा के बात मत कीजिए, सिंपल मुद्दे पे आइए, लेकिन जो आप कहेंगे उसमें ऐसी इंसानियत होनी चाहिए, इतनी एम्पैथी होनी चाहिए कि आप जो खराब न्यूज़ दे रहे हैं वो आदमी सह सके। अब सीधी सी बात है कि आप खराब न्यूज़ आप सुनाएंगे तो अगला तो दुखी होगा ही, रोएगा, he will be so upset, he will be sad. So it is important to give time to the patient or to the family to allow ventilation of emotion. They may cry, or they may just sit stunned in silence, or they may get angry. But whatever it is, you have to allow people time to ventilate emotion. And when you are with the person, remember this empathetic response. You think of how I would deal with it if I was with somebody of my own. And then once those emotions are down, then you can strategize of how we are going to deal with it. Explain the plan and see whether they are okay with the plan. And at the end, you summarize everything about what all you discussed, and then you can stop the interview at that point. So this is the spikes protocol that most of us who are in palliative care, we use this protocol in communicating bad news. And it may seem a little difficult in the beginning, but I can assure you, as you practice this more and more, uh, communicating bad news never gets easy. But then you know the steps, you know how to go about it. Now, this is the reaction to the bad news that you give. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross gave this 5 stages of grief uh, to the bad news, to the stress. And what are these 5 stages? One is denial. नहीं, ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता, ये मेरे साथ हो ही नहीं सकता. That kind of a denial. Second is anger. Why did this happen to me? You know, I was wearing all these coveralls and still I got it. Who are these patients who brought in this infection to my place? So you can get angry. And the third part is bargaining. Right? You know, what if I do this? Can I avoid quarantine? You know, I will stay and I will never come out of my room. I don't want to go to the institutional quarantine. So there may be a bit of bargaining. And then you can feel very sad. Oh my God, I got into this situation. I'm not going to get better. I'm going to die, you know, and I am ruined. My life is ruined. So you may get into a depression. And then possibly you may come into a state of acceptance. These are the 5 stages. And why it is important for us to know this, because when you are communicating with somebody, they may be in any of these situations. And if we don't understand what possible state they may be in, it becomes very frustrating for us, because we may be telling them something, but they are in the stage of bargaining. We may be doing something very unprovocatively, but they may be getting angry. So we may get very confused and frustrated. So it is very important to understand that people behave in many of these ways when they are under stress, when they are facing a very, very stressful situation in their life, and it is not their fault. It is just human. And we as healthcare providers, हमें समझना पड़ेगा कि हमारे patients इस किसी भी एक stage में हो सकते हैं, और it is important for us to identify while we are talking to them in what of these stages they are in, so that we can modify our communication accordingly. Okay. Chalo. So coming back to Mr. Ramesh, जो कि 75 साल के बुजुर्ग हैं, तो he has been in this quarantine for a couple of days, and he's getting very irritated and agitated. ठीक है, और जो नर्स जो उनको देख रही हैं, उनको लग रहा है कि शायद रमेश जी बहुत डरे हुए हैं और शायद इस वजह से काफी गुस्से में भी हैं. So he is probably frightened and angry, which could account for his restlessness and agitation. Remember, this session is not on symptoms. This session is on communication. So we are going to focus on that part. We are not going to focus on delirium of corona, of COVID. We are thinking in terms of what are the possible situation that we need to, what are the things that we need to do if he is frightened and angry. So आपसे ये सवाल है कि आप ये जनाब बहुत ही घबराए हुए हैं, तो इस वजह से काफी बात पे गुस्सा हो रहे हैं, तो आप कैसे मैनेज करेंगे? Like to have your comments on chat, and if you would like to raise your hand and speak out, I'll be happy to.
कितने लोग हैं? 27 होना जरूरी है. उतने हिसाब से ले लेना, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. आइडिया बताओ ना. आइडिया नहीं, जस्ट उन्हें खर्च करना. मैं टाइप में आइडिया चाहिए. तो मेरे को पूरा फिल होना.
Counseling, reassurance, listening to his issues, listening to his thoughts. Can we say चिंता मत करो? Counseling, हम सब कुछ करेंगे. Counseling, Rajiv Kumar. Reassurance, empathy, counseling, block PC. We don't know everything. Listening is very important to know their feeling. Reassure, develop the atmosphere. Yeah, so a lot of good comments have been coming in the chat. Anything else? Anybody wants to make a verbal comment?
Dr. Chetan, would you like to say something? You raised your.
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Okay, like sir has asked, how will you manage this?
Yes, please go on, Dr. Chetan.
I can say that we can answer as many a question as patient would be asking us, but we can easily admit that it's a new problem, so we don't have all the answers to it. And as doctor said that it's okay to touch and confirm the suspected patient, so we can do that, and we can give the facial expression to him, and we would like try to comfort him as easily as we can, but it would be difficult for patient to understand us, like, because even we don't have all the information.
Yes, Chintan, you are right, and thank you for your comment. I would like to. I would like the participants to focus on the fact that this gentleman is angry, and people get angry even during normal times in our hospital and with us medical people, doctors, nurses, and other staff. People get angry even in normal times, and during COVID times, the thing is that everybody is so scared, and when people are scared, it is very easy that they get angry. So we are dealing with a lot of anger. uh, it is anger is there outside in the community. It is there within the hospitals. So think about it.
अगर आप में से किसी कोई एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है कि आपकी तरफ पेशेंट्स गुस्सा हुए हैं या अग्रेशन से पेश आए हैं, तो वो एक्सपीरियंस भी आप चैट बॉक्स में शेयर कर सकते हैं. अगर आपको कोई दिक्कत हुई है, ऐसा कोई सिचुएशन संभालने में, वो भी आप बोल सकते हैं. Dr. Khan has said that we will try to allay his anxiety with a soft tongue and delivering more relevant education to the patient. Dr. Biju, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm waiting for more. Smriti, what are your thoughts on that?
In our experience, very often the source of anger, and this is not easy to always, I think it's not obvious always, but often the source of anger is fear. And हमें लगता है कि जब कभी-कभी पेशेंट्स या उनके फैमिलीज अग्रेशन से पेश आते हैं, उसका मतलब है कि वो डरे हुए हैं. तो it's not easy, but if there is somebody in the team who can find the time to acknowledge कि हाँ, आप जरूर, आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है अभी, लेकिन अगर आप मुझे बता सकते हैं कि आपको क्या fear hai, kya concern hai. So very often if we get to what is behind the anger, what is causing that discomfort, that is something that we can actually provide some help. So uncertainty, not knowing how to deal with the situation also manifests as anger in my experience. Dr. Biju, what do you feel about that?
Yes, absolutely. And the etiology can be multi-factorial. It doesn't start with one problem. It starts with multiple things along the way, and they all just combine and increases the stress level of the person that at one point of time wo phat padta hai. And it is not necessary that one person caused the problem. It could be anybody and multiple things. And as you correctly said, many times when ideally people don't come to the hospital because it is a scary place. If people come there only if they are not well or if they are in pain or suffering. It's not a happy place to come to. And when people come here, they are anxious, they are scared, and those kind of emotions quickly translate to anger. So I totally agree with you, Smriti, over there. So moving forward, talking about anger. Anger is a high energy consuming negative emotion. Essentially, it is a form of emotional stress. One form of emotional stress is crying. Another form of emotional stress or how you display emotional stress is anger. And it is important to understand because we have to facilitate anger to flow out so that the high energy comes down. Then it becomes easy for us to deal with it. Somebody is getting very, very angry. That person may not even accept an apology. So to facilitate anger to flow, we have to stand and listen. Mostly when we teach communication, we always say sit and listen. Here, when somebody is getting very angry, we say stand and listen, because when somebody is very angry, there is so much of adrenaline that people find very difficult to sit down. So you also stand up and listen. And while you're standing up, आप ऐसे खड़े रहिए कि आपकी जो रीढ़ की हड्डी जो है वो रेस्पेक्टफुली थोड़ी सी आगे को झुकी हुई हो. देखिए, तो और यू मेक आई कांटेक्ट, क्योंकि व्हेन यू मेक आई कांटेक्ट आप दिखा रहे हैं कि आप कॉन्फिडेंट हैं, आप डरे हुए नहीं हैं. क्योंकि आपके अंदर डर दिखता है तो आगे जो सामने वाला है उसका एंगर बढ़ भी सकता है. So it is very important to make sure that you make eye contact with confidence and stand respectfully, standing a little bent forward respectfully. This position is neither confrontational nor ignoring the person. Because you have made eye contact, you are not ignoring the person. Because you're standing respectfully, you are not confronting the person. And you don't say a word. You stand and listen. And that person may be saying very nasty things in a loud voice. Just stand, listen, make eye contact, and shake your head. And this thing is a technique where the person cannot sustain the anger because there is no fuel available. गुस्सा ज्यादा टाइम टिक नहीं पाएगा. And then slowly the anger comes down. And once the anger comes down, that doesn't mean the anger is not there. उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि the solution हो गया है, लेकिन बहुत ज्यादा जो गुस्सा था वो थोड़ा कम आ गया है. अब उसको हम कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. So when the severe anger comes down, then invite the angry person to sit down. You can say, sir, मुझे इसके बारे में आपसे मैं ज्यादा जानना चाहूंगा, क्या हम इसके बारे में बैठ के बात कर सकते हैं? So at that point of time, invite the person to sit down and invite the person to talk more about it. And this is how you allow the ventilation of the emotional stress. And the more the person ventilates, the stress comes down. And eventually, the person becomes calm and comfortable. At that point of time, you will also get to understand what all were the reasons किनकी वजह से वो गुस्सा हुए थे. This thing will be clear to you when you have this conversation. And if you have anything that you can do to correct anything, please do. And if you don't have anything to correct, accept it. जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको at the end of this interview आपको sorry कहना है, कोई जरूरी नहीं है. लेकिन आपको अगर appropriate लगता है, ठीक लगता है, तो आप माफी मांग भी सकते हैं. किसी के behalf पे आप माफी मांग सकते हैं, लेकिन जरूरी नहीं है कि माफी मांगना ही मांगना है. You can control the situation even without asking for an apology. But important is you have to facilitate the emotion to flow. And that is the two parts. First part dealing with severe anger, second part dealing with the rest of the anger. I hope that is clear. And इसके बारे में आपको अब इसके बारे में आपको कुछ और ज्यादा अगर आपको बात करनी है, at the end of the session we can have a discussion on it. आगे बढ़ते हैं. What about your anger? देखिए, you are also under stress, and it is very important that to understand that when we as human beings are in stress, it is very easy to get angry even without us knowing it. So very important part is self-care. I will put a slide on self-care alone at the end. So that is very important part. You have to take care of yourself, your body, mind and spirit. And आप जब काम पे आते हैं, you make sure that you designate one of your colleague who could be your friend to act as a spotter, who spots anger in you. Right? It is, you can do the same for the other person also. What are the early signs of anger? Irritability in behavior, irritability in language. If your friend who is the spotter spots irritability in you, that person should come and tell you, hey, बहुत ज़्यादा irritated लग रहे हो, just be careful. Or the person can inform you that you are speaking in a louder voice. आपकी आवाज ऊंची हो रही है. That's the time you realize that you may be probably going on to an anger situation. And when your spotter friends tell you that these things are happening, that is the time you are able to control yourself. Because suppose you get angry and you blast thing, then you can't take back those words that you have said. So the most important part is to control before you get angry and say something, say some hurtful words to your colleagues or to people who are working under you. So the spotter should be a friend or a colleague who will give you information, honest information as and when it happens. So make sure that you have somebody, and also be a good spotter for your colleague and your friend. So that is one way of controlling your stress and your anger. And yes, do take care, do take good care of yourself. Apna dhyan rakhiye. Have a routine. Even if you, unfortunately, if you find yourself in a quarantine or quarantine like situation, for example, in my hospital during the lockdown period, we were working on 50%. That is 50% of the people, doctors, staff, everybody would stay at home for a defined period of time, and the rest will be working in the hospital, and then there will be adla badli. People who are home will come and start working. And so even if you are not working, have a routine. Take care of your body, take care of your muscles, joints, ligaments, do some exercise. It is entirely up to you whether you want to do a zumba or a yoga, or you want to do high impact exercises. Kuch bhi kariye, lekin do something, exercise, and do meditate. You do some exercise for the body, you also do some exercise for your mind. Meditation is essentially an exercise for your mind. It's not necessarily that you have to sit and in silence and think of something, or but if that is your game, do it. But if listening to songs is a meditative experience for you, if doing something is a meditative experience for you, please go ahead and do that. Also have some distractions. कुछ हॉबीज रखिए, कुछ अलग से आपके जो नॉर्मल जो रोजमर्रा की जो जिंदगी है, काम और घर पे, फिर वापस काम, फिर घर पे, उसके अलावा कुछ ऐसी चीजें, हॉबीज पालिए जिससे कि आपको आपके दिल और दिमाग और आत्मा को खुशी मिले. And most important, stay connected, because it's very important to stay connected with others, other human beings, other creatures of this world, and to nature itself. Stay connected, and that is going to be really helpful. And I guess I'll stop here, and maybe we can have more discussions on chat, and otherwise I'll be happy to take care. I'll be happy to take your questions, if any. Smriti, back to you. And Smriti, I'll be happy if you could put in your comments on the things that we discussed. I'll be happy to hear your point of view. And please, others also, all the other experts in the field, Moira, Dr. Chitra, Sunita, anybody who is here, who is part of this group, who is listening in, I'll be happy to hear from all of you. Thank you.
Biju, I just wanted to, I got one response saying that we can respond to a person who's anxious or frightened, saying that chinta mat karo, hum sab kuch karenge. I want you to talk on that.
Yeah, so that is what we call a premature assurance. प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि आप जब बोलते हो चिंता मत करो हम सब करेंगे, आप ये आपको पता भी है कि आप वो किस बात पे चिंतित हैं. पहले तो हमें ये पता लगाना होगा कि वो चिंतित हैं किस बात पे. उसके लिए आपको पहले पूछना पड़ेगा कि आपको क्या खाया जा रहा है, आपको किस बात की चिंता है. तो वो बताएंगे कि मुझे क्या चिंता सता रही है. और हो सकता है कि उनकी चिंता हो कि मेरी बेटी की सगाई फिक्स हो रखी है लॉकडाउन में, अब वो प्रॉब्लम में आ गई है, मैं परेशान हो गया हूँ. अब मुझे बताइए, आप उनकी चिंता कैसे हटाएंगे? हटा पाएंगे क्या? आपके पास कुछ उपाय है? आप लॉकडाउन हटा सकते हैं? मेरे ख्याल से तो नहीं कर पाएंगे. तो आप जब कहते हैं कि चिंता मत कीजिए, मैं हूं या हम हैं, हम सारा प्रॉब्लम ठीक कर देंगे, हो सकता है कि आपने बात को समझा ही नहीं है कि वो किस बात पे चिंतित है. तो दिस काइंड ऑफ प्रीमेच्योर एश्योरेंस कैन लैंड अस इन प्रॉब्लम. क्या प्रॉब्लम है कि वो जो अगला है वो ये सुन के सोचेगा कि ये डॉक्टर साहब तो मेरी बात समझ ही नहीं पाए, वो समझे ही नहीं, वो अपनी तरफ से अच्छी बात कह के निकल लिए, ठीक है, अपनी खाना पूर्ति कर दी उन लोगों ने. तो इस तरीके से क्या होता है कि आपसी रिश्ते अच्छे बन नहीं पाते. So first and foremost, we have to understand what they're worried about. For that, we have to ask, listen. And if there is something that you can do for them, please do. But it's possible that we may not be having a solution to their problem. But even if you don't have a solution to the problem, please understand that you have given them an opportunity to ventilate their problems. The problems does not go away, but the ventilation helps them. थोड़ा दिल हल्का हो जाता है, and that is important when people are stressed. I hope I answered that, Dr. Chitra. If you have anything to
Yeah,
add to
I
it,
just want you to just speak a bit more on I mean, you did answer that. I just want you to just give a few, because your Hindi is so good. I just want you to give us a few phrases, because you said that we have to understand them, isn't it? हमें उनको समझना चाहिए कि क्या है उनकी परेशानियां, उनकी घबराहट किस वजह से हो रही है. तो I want you to give a few Hindi phrases to how do you empathize with one person, कि कैसे हम empathize के बारे में बहुत बातचीत करते हैं, लेकिन कैसे करेंगे? So can you give a few examples in Hindi when a person is coming to
अब
you?
मान लो कि आपके सामने जो है, जो उन्होंने कहा कि साहब मैं परेशान हूँ, तो आप पूछ सकते हैं कि आपको क्या काय की परेशानी है, आपको किस बात की परेशानी है,
Can you
क्या
not stop sharing the screen? Yeah.
Yeah, ठीक है. So you can, अगर if the person says साहब मैं बहुत परेशान हूँ, तो आप पूछिए कि आप किस बात से परेशान हैं, आपकी परेशानी क्या है, क्या आप उसके बारे में बताना चाहेंगे? तो these kind of statements you can use. I'm not saying you have to use all these kind of statements. One or two, or in combination, whatever. वो आपकी मर्जी है. You can use whatever that suits your style. But when they say something कि मेरे को बड़ा डर लग रहा है, तो you can say, इंटरेस्टिंग, चिंता मत कीजिए, हम हैं यहाँ पे. यू आस्क आपको किस बात का डर है, आप किस बात से डरे हुए हैं. तो ऑलवेज आस्क. आई होप दैट इज गुड इनफ. बट if anybody wants to chip in with more examples.
Dr. Biju, can we stop the screen share so that all the participants are visible from your side? Thank you.
Can we stop the screen? Stop share. Yes.
There was a question from Dr. Chetan, anger management over a phone call. And how would we do that? Okay.
I just responded to it.
Yes, yes.
But you can add to it.
No, I would love to hear what you have to say about that.
No, I just said that it's a very challenging situation. It's very new to all of us that how do we manage, because जब भी हम emotional distress के बारे में बोलते हैं, जैसे गुस्से में हैं, हम बोलते हैं कि हमें बैठना चाहिए उनके साथ, आंख में आंख डाल के बात करना चाहिए, टच करना चाहिए. वो सब नहीं हो पाएगा इस सिचुएशन में. टेलीफोन या ये टेली प्लेटफॉर्म के तरफ से हम बात कर रहे हैं, तो वो चैलेंजिंग है. लेकिन जितना हो सके हमारे स्किल्स जो भी है, हमारे वॉइस का, हमारा फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन का, जो भी हम यूज कर सकते हैं, वो अप्रोप्रिएटली यूज करके हमें वो रिश्ता बढ़ाने की कोशिश करना चाहिए. हमारी एक्सप्रेशंस, हमारी फ्रेजेस, जो हम आम तौर पे जब लोग गुस्सा होते हैं, कोई भी गुस्सा होता है, हमारा फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्स गुस्से में ही होती है, हम भी गुस्से हो जाते हैं. तो हमें ये वेरी कॉन्शियसली अलर्ट होना चाहिए कि हम भी गुस्सा करेंगे तो वो रिश्ता टूट जाएगा. तो सिर्फ बोलना कि मैं समझती हूँ कि आप थोड़ा सा परेशान हो या आप गुस्से में हो, क्या हम इसके बारे में बात कर सकते हैं, इवन दैट इज इनफ. उनको थोड़ा सा वो एंगर, वो जो बहुत ज्यादा एंगर हो, तो थोड़ा कम करने में. थैंक यू.
हाँ, thank you. Smriti, you want to add something to that?
I think also, in addition to being mindful of the fact that when we're on a phone call with somebody, a lot of we rely on non-verbal cues a lot as we talk, right? And when we're on a phone call, even on a Zoom call for that matter, even if we can see a part of the person, we miss out on a lot of other non-verbal cues from the rest of, the body feedback. So it's important to make sure you have understood the person correctly. So we call this reflecting back or paraphrasing. तो अगर कोई आपसे कुछ कहेगा तो आंसर करने के पहले पूछे, अच्छा मैंने ये आपको ये कहते हुए सुना है, क्या आपका मतलब ये था? So make sure that you get the right essence of what they have said, rather than just responding to what you think you've heard. I think that is an important thing, to paraphrase and to reflect. It takes a little bit more time, but I think it's an important thing to do.
खासकर ओवर द फोन बात करने पे, अब जैसे डॉक्टर चित्रा ने कहा कि चैलेंजिंग है, मैं तो कहता हूँ कि इवन आमने सामने बात करने पे भी अगर कोई गुस्सा हो रहा है तो बड़ा चैलेंजिंग होता है, आसान नहीं है। और फोन पे तो अब क्या कहें, वो तो मतलब हद ही हो गई। तो क्या है कि फोन पे जैसे स्मृति आपने कहा कि जो कोई फोन पे आपके ऊपर गुस्सा हो रहा है, नाराज हो रहा है, तो पहले तो मेरे ख्याल से मैं सुनूंगा, बीच में करके कुछ आवाज निकालूं जिससे कि अगले को पता लगे कि मैं सुन रहा हूँ। और हो सकता है कि कहीं पे मुझे, जैसे आपने कहा कि पैराफ्रेज करना पड़ेगा जिससे कि एक एंगेजमेंट हो, क्योंकि फोन पे सिर्फ आप कान से सुन रहे हैं, आप वीडियो चैट में तो फिर भी देख सकते हैं, लेकिन जब फोन पे सिर्फ आप किसी की आवाज सुन रहे हैं तो आपको पैराफ्रेज की एक जरिया है उस बंदे के साथ कनेक्ट होने का। तो वही एक तरीका है, जैसे अभी हमने वो एंगर मैनेजमेंट का एक एसओपी बताया, तो फोन पे तो बहुत सारा कुछ जो एसओपी तो हो नहीं पाएगा। बस यही है कि कोशिश कर सकते हैं कि फोन पे हो जाए। बस इतना है कि फोन पे बात करने पे गलत फहमियों का डर ज्यादा रहता है, क्योंकि सीधे बात करने पे भी गलतफहमियां हो जाती हैं, लेकिन फोन पे बात करने पे जो हमने कहा उन्होंने क्या समझा, उन्होंने जो कहा हमने क्या समझा, तो इस तरीके की गलतफहमियां बहुत होती हैं। तो फोन पे बात करने पे अगर जहां तक पॉसिबल हो तो आप कोशिश कर सकते हैं कि जो अगला जो बंदा गुस्से में है, पूछें कि आप आके मिल सकते हो या पास में कहीं पे हो, हम आके मिल लें, कि सीधे सीधे बात हो जाए। अगर बिल्कुल पॉसिबल नहीं है तो बस कोशिश ही कर सकते हैं कि मामले को सुलझाया जाए। Where can we get chats? Make up for lack of non-verbal cues by modulating our tone and possible cues. Right. We may have to make up for lack of non-verbal cues on phone by modulating our tone and if possible keep saying, I understand, etc. And yeah, Dr. Saima has said that the base of good communication is building trust. Can't agree more. And all these things that, that carrying around a big photo, and so that even if we are wearing a mask, some kind of a human interaction, connection can be made. That is the whole idea, because until unless we don't have a trusting relationship, uh, you know, that is the base for good communication. I totally agree. And whatever we say, how we say, our body language, the choice of words, everything is building up towards building a relationship of trust.
I suppose an important question about trust is that building trust takes time. but how do we, in a situation where we're dealing with a crisis or something that doesn't allow us, the disease progression of, say, COVID-19 is rapid. It's rapid onset, and so we don't have that kind of time in that sort of a setting, I suppose. So any thoughts on what we can do in those situations that would help build trust with a patient or a family?
I think, Smriti, even basic introductions and your roles and understanding the expectations, because there's a lot of assumptions in conversations. So dono taraf se assumptions. I don't know what is in Hindi for assumptions, but we assume a lot about what they are expecting, and they would assume that we haven't done something or we are yet to do something. So there's a lot of gap in both kind of. The both parties in the conversation, whether it's over the phone or any. So even clarifying basic things about what is the need for the conversation, or what are the expectations, would actually bring some clarity to the conversation, because we won't have much time. Hello.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I have nothing more to add to it. But what about the other participants, other faculties? Would they want to comment? Primarily me, Dr. Chitra, and
So there is another question that Dr. Moin Khan is asking. He says that what should be the plan B if counseling or reassurance fails, or all verbal efforts leads to nowhere but leads to more trouble, especially in the casualty. I think if after the the initial team handles and you feel it is unmanageable, then maybe that's the time you want to bring in a person who is more trained in terms of managing people, or in in addressing issues of conflict, or but I'm not sure in a setting like yours where we won't get specialists, it's slightly harder. But then if you have a social a person who's in social work, or person who is good at negotiating with, and taking care of people in the community, or someone who can speak for both sides, that will be a good thing. A simple thing is also to give some time. Tell them that I can see that you are very angry. I can see that you're very upset. Can we speak about this an hour later? So within an hour, maybe there'll be some reflection and things will come down. So taking some time itself will sometimes bring the heat of that moment down.
it is just a question of escalating it upwards to people who are more, skillful.
Yeah.
These are what we have discussed about, is that what each one of us can practice in our day-to-day clinical environment, where we are dealing with simple anger situations, and these techniques would work for the clinical anger that we are seeing on a daily basis. But if things are more volatile, for example, Param Karbanda has written, if it is extremely volatile situation, good idea to have security nearby. Remember, these methods that I've talked about, it is for our day-to-day anger management that we deal with in our professional life. These are not solutions for law and order problem. If people are under the influence of alcohol or other substances, or if there's a mob violence going on, there is no point in standing in front of them and shaking your head. You hunt for your life and let the people who can deal with the law and order situation deal with it. As professional care providers, these techniques are to be used for our clinical anger situation, clinical anger management. If things are getting out of hand, it is always important to alert the other services, if I may put it that way, in the institution.
I just wanted to mention one thing. I think it's always better to have, somebody with you while you're having a conversation. So like you could call the senior staff nurse in your team to be with you while you have the conversation, so that she also hears what's happening and what you're telling to the patients, and what they are telling back, and the family. And also make sure in the end document everything with date and time, and even your responses and their responses, because sometimes like years or months later, if a complaint comes and you're asked to sort of explain about the case, you would have completely forgotten about what's happened. So it's always worthwhile to even to note down what exactly you said to the family and how their response was, just to make the documentation complete.
Thank you, Sunita. Rajshri agrees.
Dr. Mohammed has asked the same query once again.
I think I responded to that again.
Okay.
Just a minute. I'm not getting the chat now. I think it's about if the first measures are not getting any response, what should we do? Isn't that?
Yeah, but then he has stressed the fact that the same query. So I'm not sure whether he's not does he want more response to that? Dr. Mohammed, do you want to unmute yourself?
Do you want to unmute and say, sir? Because I think the only way is to bring in people with special skills. If you cannot manage at a primary level, somebody trained in social work or somebody who psychiatrist or a psychologist who are slightly more.
Dr. Chitra, we lost you.
Yeah.
Madam, we lost you.
I think I just repeated what I had written.
Yeah.
Bring in people specialized like social work or psychiatry who are slightly more trained to manage people who are aggressive or who are very much engrossed in their conflict and not cooperating, or we are not able to really get them talk or resolve the situation.
Okay. Yeah, he has replied back. I got the point. Yeah.
Okay. Any other point that anybody wants to bring in?
Any more points? Any comments? Viju, can you just summarize what you have talked, and then we can close the session.
All right. We started off today's session thinking of Mr. Ramesh and his family as to what are the challenges that they would be facing, and equally what kind of challenges we would be facing. And we discussed about some of the challenges they would face. Some of the challenges were technological in nature, some of them were patient specific, some of the challenges were for the family and society at large, and some of the challenges that we were facing as well. And we talked about how we could go about having effective communication with them. And we talked about that algorithm on page number 11 of that ebook. And we did not go in detail into it, but I hope you would in that ebook. And then we talked about some of the do's and don'ts. One important don't I can think of is do not assume, and we need to ask people, and they will tell, and we just need to listen. I can't emphasize enough of the listening part. And then we talked about what are the stresses that accompany COVID, and one of the stress manifest is anger, and we talked about how we can deal with our day-to-day anger. We just talked about some of the ways we can do it. We talked about how we can break bad news, how we can communicate bad news, and then when we do it, what is to be expected when people hear that bad news. And it is important to understand the state of mind of the person sitting in front of you so that you can have a better quality of conversation with them. If they are in denial, explaining things to them may be futile at that point of time. So it is important to allow people to, you know, get hold of their emotions, come to a state where you can have meaningful relationship. That doesn't mean you don't have to do anything till they come to that state. There's plenty to do as you go along. And as somebody said, this is new territory for all of us. We don't know how this disease works. We all know it's a hyperacute situation, this COVID infection. And Uttarakhand, like Kerala, is almost like same. You have around 400 active cases in Uttarakhand. We have around 400 active cases in Kerala. So we are just going fairly together. So at the end of it, let us all learn together and update each other on what is happening, and we'll all learn together along the way. Thank you.
So, Biju, do you agree that summarizing after a long conversation is also part of communication, good communication?
Absolutely, Sunil. That was brilliant.
Okay.
I don't know whether you heard it. I said I agree absolutely, and that was brilliant of you to get this summary at the end of this session. Thank you for that.
So, Chitra Madam, shall we close the session?
Yeah, definitely ask them to give the feedback and then you can close the session. Thank you, Sunil.
Before you leave, can you all please give this, do this feedback questionnaire and submit? Thank you, Biju and Chitra Madam and Smriti for being with us for today. And thank you all of you for attending this session. And please fill in this questionnaire and please submit.